Hello, friends. The energies are really shifting, and we've really seen that in the Schumann resonance. We've had a couple major pattern shifts, and I want to first talk to you about the pattern shifts in the data and the charts, and then we'll talk about the human experience. What's your experience of these energies and what you can do in this energy environment? So the first thing is, since the sun went to 0 degrees Aries at the spring equinox, there was a major shift in the red frequency range. And so that frequency range had a sudden shift in pattern. It started during the data stop. And so something happened. And instead of being, I'll just call it flowy, where the frequencies just kind of go up and down in a wave type pattern on the chart, they started to flatline. And then major energy started to come in and they dipped down to the end of their ranges. But when they came up, they were flatlining. They weren't back to that flowy pattern. We've discussed the flatlining, and I talked about it in my last video. I'm going to link that below. I discussed the flatlining and what it means and what it's like from our human experience. Where we are right now is that these energy surges are bringing us to the depths of our experiences for what the 4 resonance frequency ranges represent. Yeah. So we're going deep, and it actually is appropriate because we are in the balsamic phase of the Lunar New Year. So we're about to activate doing, right? The moon is embodiment. We already had the solar year at December 21st, January 1st. I will put the link to my video on the timing and explainer of that and the details. But essentially, the soul manifests into form, and there's a gestation period, and then the moon period, Aries, is the birth. Recently, we had another shift in pattern. We've had some very dramatic images on the chart. There were a series of flag images a couple weeks ago, and during this energy shift, we got kind of an image of strange, it looked like a laser or strange technology. And it's interesting because this energy has come out. This information has come out about, technology, through advanced technology, what might be under the pyramids. So that's interesting. The other thing is there was a article about the U.S. Navy and their new laser technology. And the lasers, they effectively shot down drones with a laser, and it was, I guess, a big deal. Something they've been working on for 10 years. So it was interesting that this image came out on the chart at like literally that day or the day after. The pyramid information hit the airwaves and went viral, because it first came out on March 15th, but it only went viral about 2 days ago. Now the flags, when they first came out on the chart, in my view, they were telling us a story. We were telling ourselves a story about how we want to live in community, how we want to be in our respective cultures. It's basically, one world government versus the nation state. And I want to let you know, I have a private YouTube where I post more information in my posts, and I do a monthly video teach-in. And then on my Substack, I'm doing a weekly article where I talk about the Schumann energies, if you're interested. That's for my paid subscribers. But there's a free version that you can check out. Now, after the frequency range had a major shift, what happened is we saw the flag backwards and ungrounded. And what is fascinating again is that image came out the day after there was a hullabaloo about President Trump on his Truth Social, because I went and looked at this. There was an article in a UK paper about Prince Charles inviting the USA into the Commonwealth. And President Trump on his Truth Social just said, "Sounds good," or whatever. But you see, President Trump didn't say what in the article sounded good. Whatever, who knows what that's about. But there was a backwards flag on the Schumann. And as that image developed, it also turned into what looked like a transmitting tower, right? And it's so fascinating because the information went global virally. I just found that amazing. We had another huge expression of energy, a huge wave. And it's interesting because around this time of year, it's seasonal. We do get these big energy waves. And in the past, they have looked so stunning because the energy at this time can be stunning. In the past, It's looked like a high cathedral. I think it was 2023. It just looked like literally like heaven. It was so fascinating and beautiful. I think that this is giving us information. That was when Pluto first moved into Aquarius that happened. And I felt like it was giving us encouragement from the level of the soul for each of us, from the level of the divinity that we are and the creator. So this year when I doubled the images, you know what it looks like? It looks like I called it the fire of transmutation or the fire of transformation. It looks like a lot of transforming energy, a lot of information. You know, a lot of us, it was about 2 nights ago, we couldn't sleep, like not at all. And I'm thinking that there is it's almost like this energy is in the air that has so much information in it that it's phenomenal. What caused the recent shifts of energy was movements in green, both in the frequency range where green, before the shift happened, went to the top of its range. What I associate that with is confidence, the willingness to expand our experience, the willingness to take self-responsibility, to go, to act, to do, to be who you truly are, and shout it from the rooftops. There are reasons why I, have come to this conclusion that I've discussed in many videos, but keeping it just to the nutshell today. The second thing that happened at the frequency shift was that green quality spiked up again to a typical high prior to the pandemic and lockdowns, close to typical highs prior to that very restricted time. And again, to me, it's a sign of strength for humanity, for the earth. And so this is what I wanted to tell you. You are the mover. We are not at the effect of these energies only. We have an external energy environment, but the fact of the matter is you are the one that has the living soul connection with the creator. You are the one that gets to choose how you express your personal divinity. That is the creative substance of the universe, that soul that you are. It is that alive, like it's the living spark of the creator. That's who you are in human form, and of course we don't remember these things, but it's really interesting because it's like with these frequency range shiftings and then the images on the chart, it's like we sat back and we were watching the story. We're standing up now and we're saying, no, I want it this way. Like we've made a decision. And it's interesting that that's happening and it's loading into the lunar year. How I see it when this happens on the Schumann around this time of year is these are the energies that are loading into the next 12 months of the lunar year. And they're most potent in the first 6 months as things initiate, and then they slowly start to build and they peak at 6 months. There's much more to say, but I wanted to give you this thumbnail on the shift and give you the encouragement because I see it in the charts. Like, I think that we are getting stronger. And a lot of people, let's face it, there are a lot of major external forces right now at play. And there are a lot of very powerful forces in the human world, or affecting the human world that are incarnate or manifest. But the fact is you have the living spark of divinity within you. All of us do. We get to determine our future. We get to imagine these things. And so take on that responsibility for yourself personally. Talk to God about it. Dream. And then trust that divine will unfold for you in perfection, whether that looks exactly like what you asked for or not, or whether you get what you asked for in ways that you just didn't expect.